Hello wonderful traders, welcome to lesson 5 of this online forex course. My name is Emeka from ImoFS, and while watching this video, if you find anything confusing, kindly pause it, drop your question on the comment section and I'll be glad to clarify you. So let's dive into it. Alright, in today's lesson we are going to be talking about moving averages. Now moving averages is one of those indicators you can get on MT4 for free. And it's a very powerful tool, and this is one of the major tools and one of the indicators that I use while making my technical analysis. So what is the function of this moving average? Now this moving average is one of the most important tools that I use to determine the trend of the market. We use the moving average to determine the trend, the current trend of the market. So this indicator also helps us to determine a clear trend and the support and the resistance in the market, so we can be able to get a clear entry in our buy or sell order. So now we have two types of moving average. We have the simple moving average, which is known as the SME, and we have the exponential moving average, which is the EMA. So now the blue line that you saw on my chart that is drawn on this chart is an example of what you call a moving average. Now I'm not going to bore you with the calculation, the mathematical calculation behind all these moving averages, because they all have a mathematical calculation behind it that made it to look the way it is now. Now these calculations are important, but for the purpose of making money, for the purpose of trading forex and making money, we are not going to focus on it. So because this moving average is very important only because it determines the trend of the market, and it also determines the support and the resistance level. So how to understand this moving average is that when you see the moving average sloping up, it means the market is on an uptrend. Then on the reverse side, if you see the moving average sloping down, it means the market is on the downtrend. And when you see this moving average in between chart, it means the market is on the range. Remember what I taught you about the range, otherwise known as the consolidation period. So when you see this moving average in between a chart, it means that there is no trend in the market. What we have in the market is a consolidation period. So now when you see a market on the uptrend, now the moving average serves as a support level, and when you see it on the downtrend, it serves as a resistance level. So next, and like I said, the slope of the moving average indicates the direction of the trend. So if you look at my chart, you see that here that I draw, it shows that the market is sloping down. You can see the moving average on top of the chart. Now it means that the moving average is serving as a resistance to this downtrend. And when you see that the market is sloping up, it means that this moving average is serving as a support to this uptrend. So again, when you see a downtrend, you know that this is the best time for you to sell. Whenever you see that the price has went up and touched the moving average, that's the best time to sell. You can see the way I marked it here. Then on the flip side, when you see the market moving on an uptrend, the moving average serves as a support. So whenever the price touches that moving average, is the best time for you to buy. So now, do you expect to see this always on the chart? Of course not. You don't have to always see this on the chart, because in short, sometimes and most times the market moves as random, but there are certain period of time when the market repeats a certain pattern, and when you see that repetition of a certain pattern, you know that this is the setup you are looking for. So when you see this kind of pattern, you know that the market is very predictable at this level. That is when to know the best time to buy and know the best time to sell, because when you do this, you increase your chances of being right in the market. Now the purpose of this channel is for me to teach you how to spot these repeatable patterns, so that it can help you to boost your winning chances, to increase your winning chances, so that you can be more right often than you are wrong. So now one of those methods is for you to buy or sell when the price is near the moving average. So now one of the major reasons why you should always buy or sell when the price is close to the moving average is that whenever the price moves far from the moving average, whether in a uptrend or downtrend, whenever the price moves far from the moving average, it's being seen as an overbought or an oversell in terms of a downtrend. Now when you buy in this kind of situation, there is a high chance that the market is going to snap back to touch the moving average again. That means you bought at the overbought. So don't buy the overbought. Next, now key moving averages. So a very important concept to understand is that when the price is on a very strong uptrend, the moving averages are aligned in sequence. Now when you look at my screen, you see that I applied about 4 different moving averages here. We have the 200 moving average, you have the 100, you have the 50 and the 18 moving averages. Now on a few lessons to come, I will teach you how to apply these moving averages and how to set them up. So next we are going to look at the same scenario but on a downtrend. Now when you look at my screen, you see that this is a very strong downtrend, and you can see that all the 4 moving averages that I used, they are all lined in sequence. So it shows that this is a very strong downtrend and it's a clear downtrend. So whenever the price tests the 50 EMA, this is the best time to buy. Now next, another important thing to also learn about moving average is the moving average crossover. So the moving average crossover indicates the change of a trend. Now remember, we have 2 major trends that we are looking out for in the market. We have the uptrend and the downtrend. Now when you see the market on the uptrend, it doesn't mean the market will continue to rally up. At some point, the market will start to slope down, which means that the market has changed its trend. So this moving averages is going to help us to determine when the market is trying to reverse back and turn the uptrend into a downtrend. So the most common way to determine when the trend changes is when you see the moving average crossing over each other. So when you look at my chart, there are just 2 moving average that I applied here, the 6 and the 18 moving average. Now I apply these 2 moving average because I'm looking at the short-term trend of the market. So right there on my screen, you see an example of where the 6 moving average crossed over the 18 moving average. Now immediately it crossed over, you start seeing what we call the uptrend. So seeing this means it's an uptrend signal, so you should start getting ready to buy. And also bear in mind that you cannot just buy the market because it crosses over. We also have to look at something like the candlesticks pattern, the pin bar pattern, and the support and resistance. So I will elaborate all this on the strategy lesson. Now contrary to the uptrend, the downtrend is when you see the 6 EMA crosses over the 18 EMA. And again, we have to wait for further confirmations to look out for something like candlesticks pattern, the pin bar pattern, and the support and the resistance. So that's all for moving averages. Let's move on to the next one. So now in this chapter, I'm going to teach you how to use the MT4 software, which is the charting software that most traders use. Now this MT4 is going to help you to chart and analyze your trade. Now on this MT4 platform, the first thing to do is to open up your charting platform. Now how to open up your chart, go to File and click on New Chart. Now when you click on New Chart, you see a drop down of different currency pairs. Now you select the one you want to see the chart. So in this example, I'm going to select Euro USD, and as you can see how it popped out on my screen. Now the next thing to do is to select the time frame you want the chart to be at. And again, based on my strategy, I always trade on the 15 minutes chart. So I'm going to choose the M15. And also remember, like I said on the previous lesson, I always use H1, which is the hourly candle, to do a kind of a confirmation of my analysis. So now looking at the screen, what you are seeing is the default settings of this MT4 chart platform. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to show you how to set the chart up. So now setting this chart up to our favorite color, the green and the red, the green bullish candle and the red bullish candle. Now the next thing to do is to right click on the chart, then scroll down to where you see property. Now when you click on property, you see common, select common. Now select candlesticks. Now switch over to colors. This is where we paint our candlesticks the way we want. So depending on your taste, but I kind of like the white, the black and the white background. So but you can leave it on the black background if you want. So for the bull candle, I will choose green, and for the bearish candle, I will choose red. So when you select this and click OK, you see that it's all set up in your chart. So I will zoom it a bit so that you can see the candlesticks very well. So as you can see, these tools is what I use to zoom in on the chart and zoom out on the chart. So if you want to go automatically to the right and the end of the chart, you click this red arrow here. So there on my screen is the current candle, the most recent candle formation. So right there on the left of my screen is the drop down list of all the currency pairs on this MT4 platform. Now, what I usually do is when you look below my screen now, you see different tabs of different currency pairs. So what I do is, while trading, I select those major currency pairs that I will be looking at, those major currency pairs that I will be playing my analysis on. I will select them and open a different tab for each of them. It will help me to scroll through all of them and check all the charts and so for me, this is very easy for me to navigate through all the major currency pairs that I will be trading, and for me to also see what's going on in the market. So the next thing I will show you is how to save the settings of this chart so that it will be easy for us to implement these same settings on the next chart. For instance, we can implement the settings we have on Euro USD over to GBP USD. So now when you right click on your chart, you will see a place written template. Go to save template. So you can call it whatever you can call it my template, then save. So this saves your settings. So now when you open a new currency pair the same way we did it, so now as you can see, it brings us to that same default settings that the MT4 have. So how we are going to apply these same settings we saved over to this new chart? Now right click on the chart, go to template, load template. Now when you click on the load template, you will see different templates that are available. Now we have to choose that one that we saved. So the moment you select it, the same settings will be moved to this new chart. So if you want to get rid of the chart, just right click on the chart and close, and it's gone. So one of the first things to do is to put in the moving averages, the indicators that we are going to be using for the analysis. So to do this, you go to insert, click on indicators, scroll down to trend, open it, then choose moving average. Now if you notice on my first elaboration, there are up to 4 different kinds of moving averages on my chart. Now it doesn't mean this is 4 different kinds of indicators. They are just one indicators with 4 different settings. So I'm going to show you how to set each indicators. So in this case, we are going to set a 200 moving average and we are going to leave the color to red. And when you do that, you can select the line to be thicker or thinner, then click OK and you can see it on our chart. Now next we are going to add the 50 moving average. So we go to insert, indicator, we scroll down to trend, then moving average. And then we are going to change the number to 50. So for 50, we are going to use the exponential moving average. Then for easily identification, we are going to use the color blue. So that's it, that's the 50 moving average, the blue line. Now for the purpose of the strategy that I'm about to teach you, we are going to put the 8 and the 16 moving average. So let's add it now. So for the 18 moving average, we are going to leave the line to be blue, but we are going to set a very thin line on it, so we can differentiate the 50 from the 18. And now on my screen, you can see all the 4 major moving averages that we are going to be using for the purpose of my strategy that I'm about to teach you. So once we set up all the moving average, we can right click, save template, so that we can be able to save this template and then add it on all other charts that we are going to be using, so that we don't have to go through the stress of adding it one by one again. Now while saving it, we are going to call it impulse pullback, which is the name of the strategy that I'm about to teach you. So another thing to look out for is how to draw a line. This will help you to draw a support and resistance line, and this is an additional confirmation when making a trade. Now I'm going to show you how you can insert those lines in this chart. So now look up on the chart and select this line. Now notice that the place I just dropped this line is a resistance level. So when you want to delete it, just right click on the line and then choose delete. And if you want to move it around to a certain level at a certain price, you can click and hold it, then drag it to that particular price that you wanted it to stay. So that's all you need to know about creating a chart on MT4, adding your favorite indicators, and how to add your lines against your support and your resistance. So there's nothing much there, it's pretty simple when you learn it. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to place a trade on this MT4 platform. So what you have to do is to click on the view, then scroll down to terminal. Now it brings out this terminal that shows you your balance, your equity, and your free margin. So to place an order, just click the new order button. Now on this area, you have to put how many lots you wish to trade with. And then you can place an order with a market execution. What it means is you can buy instantly at the current market price. Or the next thing you can do is to place a pending order. Now on this pending order, you can set a buy limit order, you can set a sell limit order, you can set a sell stop and a buy stop order. So now this is just a highlight of it. Now all this is covered in a lesson of placing orders. I'm going to make a specific lesson for placing orders. And this brings us to the end of today's lesson. And if you have any question at all, kindly drop it down at the comment section and I will be glad to assist on your questions. Thank you and bye for now.